let me tell you all something, yeah. Just to be clear, do not ever pipe in my direction again, yeah. You man do this for a living. You man dedicate your life to this. I'm an Instagram lifter and you all chat about me and I'll try to put one comment to the piss out of you. F off. Down my line another time, yeah. And you better hope I don't start taking this too seriously, because then you're done forever.
Today, we will be looking at the Jim Reaper's record-setting bench press performance where he broke the all-time British bench record. Just last week, Josh Baker took to the platform and he did not disappoint. Now, I covered this guy just a couple of weeks ago where we looked at some of his most impressive lifts from training, and this guy is an absolute bench monster. Little did I know at the time, Josh was about to step onto the platform to make a statement. So, it's only right that we all get to witness this now. My goal for this video is to analyze Josh's technique and to see what changes he's made to his bench press as he attempts to break the all-time British record, in hopes that you can perhaps replicate what Josh is doing so you can have a massive bench press too. A little about me before we get started. I held the all-time Australian total record in the 140 kilogram weight class, that's 308 pounds, from 2020 until 2022 with a total of 1,050 kilograms, that's 2,314 pounds, as well as having over a decade of coaching and competitive experience at the highest level. Now, let's get this thing rolling, baby. Enjoy. Alright baby, let's get rolling. Now I believe Josh is opening with 260 kilos. This is my all-time best bench press, touch and go, and I have a feeling that I'm about to be disgraced. Just watching this already, that setup is such an improvement from that video that I posted a couple of weeks ago. Wow. That is a lovely bench press. We'll have a listen to what Josh has to say and then I'll talk about it.
I argue the 260 opener was maybe too light with the way it moved. You know, I could have opened on more. So fast, so good. I shocked myself. At the time I was so focused on the press and listening to the commands, I put it back and walked out the back. And then Anil showed it me back on camera and I was like, holy shit, that was quick. Mike said the same. I mean, we were like, that's maybe the fastest 260 I've ever done, in or out of wraps, and it was paused in a comp. It was ridiculously quick. So that, looking at that, my immediate response was, right, well, let's just jump for the record now. You know, my second lift.
Okay, so let's talk about it now. Yes, justified totally. If your 260 kilogram opener moves like that, he's going to jump to 282.5 kilos for the all-time British record. And based off that lift, that is a reasonable jump. Now, a couple of things to talk about. One thing to keep in mind is that Josh is admittedly an Instagram or YouTube lifter. Now, I respect that completely. Now, as I've gotten older, I have come to realize that competing isn't everything. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of money in powerlifting, so making a living from powerlifting is not really a possibility. Josh has taken great advantage of social media and he has built an incredible name for himself with some freaky lifts. Josh also has a lot of haters and naysayers. Now, that clearly motivates him, which I like. It doesn't really get to him. It seems to fuel him and drive his performance, and I believe this competition, as well as, you know, he wants to get the record, but this is a statement. This is time to shut some people up, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him do that. Now, in regards to his bench press, that is a completely different bench presser. Based off that video that I put up a couple of weeks ago, now keeping in mind, the footage from that video was, I think, from around a year ago. And during that video, I did ask the question, you know, I wonder what he's doing now. Has he worked on his technique? Has he changed anything? Because he was just such a freakishly strong guy. It was just brute strength. And it was so impressive to see someone just moving such serious weights with no frills, no nonsense. And my question has been answered. This man's bench press looks really nice. Now, something that definitely surprised me is that he's a soft touch paused bench presser. I would have assumed that he would have maybe gone for the sink and the heave bench press for the pause, but he's actually gone for the soft touch, you know, creating a lot of tension. It's an extremely technical bench press, and I'm here for it. I think he's done a great job transforming his technique, and I do believe we're going to see that pay off for him right now. So that's just something I wanted to say from the start, is that his setup there looks really good. getting his feet back into a good position, getting that scapular retraction and depression. And you can see the byproduct of that is a bit of an arch with the back, although he's not just trying to arch, that's just foolish. But the byproduct of squeezing the shoulder blades back and down and jamming those feet back and getting leg drive is you're going to reduce the range of motion by creating a small arch. So all these things are working for him, and we'll see what he does next. Make sure you like this video, make sure you drop a comment, and subscribe to your mum's favorite channel on YouTube, Cult Strength. Let's roll. So we're going 282.5 kilograms. This is going to be for the all-time British bench press record in competition. Now Josh has done more than that in training, typically uses elbow wraps, although he's doing this completely raw. So credit to him. Let's have a look, baby. Again, before there was no setup. Now he's taking his time, getting those, yeah, he's jamming those scaps down. Let's have a look. Come on, son. Ooh. Okay, he's missed it. He's missed it. Let's have a listen to what Josh has to say.
I knew on the bench, the moment I had started to bring the bar down, I wasn't getting it back up. You just know. You know based on bar path, and my position was too high. What had happened was, Mike pre-set, when I was going out there, he said to me, squeeze the shit out of the bar. And the reason he says that is because the tighter you squeeze that bar, the more you kind of activate all the muscles in your lats and forearms to make the bar almost pretty much pauses itself. You don't have to think about pause anymore because you're squeezing so tight that by the time you come down, you're so tight in the chest and lats that the bar kind of pauses itself and you get that command and you just fire it up. But one thing I didn't do was tuck.
So let's talk about that. We'll talk about the tuck, but just quickly, we'll talk about that tension he's talking about by squeezing the bar. Now, I definitely think it's a great idea to squeeze the barbell. I think tension starts in the hands and it ends at the feet, right? So we want everything in the body almost contracting, tense, working towards that bench press. So yes, by squeezing that barbell in the hands, it will allow you to get the internal rotation from the wrist, the external rotation from the shoulder to get into the perfect position. Now, that's a little bit complex, but essentially he's creating a fuckload of tension, which is how he's able to get that soft touch and then explode. Now, one thing he mentioned there is he believes that he failed to lift because he didn't tuck. Now, I typically wouldn't cue somebody to tuck their elbows just because it can be a little bit misleading, although a slight tuck is exactly what happens. But I like to think about the scapular retraction and depression is responsible for the position of the elbow. So I believe what Josh maybe failed to do then was to reinforce that scapular retraction and depression during the handout. Okay, I don't think he doubled down on that position and the scaps came out a little bit. And what that does is it leaves your shoulder joint open to movement and it can leave us a little bit flared, which is exactly I think what he's saying here is that it was touching a little bit too high. It looked like in the video it touched a little bit too high because he didn't get that scapular retraction and depression and the bar path was off. But we'll see what else he has to say about it. I just wanted to touch on that.
But I didn't tuck. I never remembered to just tuck my elbows a little. So when he's brought me over, Mike, and stepped off, I've stayed pretty wide. My elbows are flared. And I've come down, and as I'm coming down, the bar's just rolled in my hand because I'm not in a good position. I felt the roll, and I've come like here on my chest. And when I was this high, I knew straight away when the press command came, it wasn't going up. And I've got the press, got to about there, fighting, didn't get it. But I was still quite impressed that from a bad position, I got it off the chest to where I did.
Bro, I'm impressed. I couldn't get that off my chest in the best position on my best day, and this dude's almost locking it out from a terrible position. So exactly what we're just talking about. He just didn't get the scapular retraction and depression exactly where he wanted it, and it left him a little bit flared with the elbows. Now, if someone typically really has a flared bench press position, and you feel like the scapular retraction depression isn't really helping that, then yes, maybe we can use a cue. Tuck your elbows. If you're in an exaggeratedly flared position, that could be a good idea. But if we just tell everybody to tuck their elbows, they end up tucking their elbows into their ribs, and that's really not a good place to bench press from either. So just keep in mind scapular retraction depression. The scapulars dictate elbow position. We're going to move on now to his third attempt. I think he's going to get it. As I always say, I love seeing people miss a lift and come back and get it. Although it's not ideal, it's not the perfect day, but there's something about overcoming a little bit of adversity that just makes things a bit sweeter. I just don't know why. I just fucking love that shit. Come on, big boy. This dude's a unit. I like his mentality. I like his attitude. Just loves to fucking have a crack. Come on, son. Take two. That position, that looks more stable. Yeah, he pulls it. There we go. He pulled that chest up hard. There it is. There it is. There it is, son. He pulled that chest up. He cranked it up. He cranked it up hard. Did a different angle. Watch this. As that bar gets handed, cranks up. Boom. Tight. There it is, son. You see it. You see it in action. You see it in action.
On 8 weeks notice, let me tell you pussy or something, yeah. Just to be clear, do not ever fucking pipe in my direction again, yeah. You man do this for a living. You man dedicate your fucking life to this. I'm an Instagram lifter and you all chat shit about me and I'll turn up at one comment to the piss out of you. Fuck off. Bail my line another time, yeah. And you better hope I don't start taking this too seriously, because then you're fucking done forever.
I hope you do take it more seriously, if that's a thing, sir. That is impressive. And there's no doubt in my mind that this guy was capable of pressing probably another 10 kilograms on the day. If he had nailed that second attempt, there's definitely more room in the tank. It was just a technical miscue. Unfortunately, no fourth attempt was at that competition. Typically, when you break a record, you can have a fourth attempt, but there was no fourth attempts available there. But I just got to say, that's just a transformed bench presser. That's a completely different guy. Now, that's not me saying that he wasn't a good bench presser before. He was brutally strong. But now he's bringing in this aspect of being technical. And when you combine a brutally strong monster with the technician side of things, that's scary. So if he, continues to work on his technique, even if he chooses to just stick to Instagram and YouTube, which I fucking totally get, man. I totally get that. I'm kind of living that at the moment. I compete in arm wrestling, but I've stepped away from competing in powerlifting and things like that. It wasn't doing it for me, and I understand exactly what he's saying. But if he continues down this path, he could easily step back onto a powerlifting platform at any time and hit that 300 kilogram bench press and go from there, right? I know he has aspirations of being the biggest bench presser ever, and that's a big goal. We have people like Julius Maddox, who is sitting around the 800 pound bench press mark in competition. He is the GOAT of bench press, we can say, but I love seeing this guy. He's chasing it. He has a long way to go still, but he's young, and if he's smart about this and he continues to surround himself with smart people, I believe that gentleman that is helping him with his bench press and handing out for him, he's also an extremely strong bench presser, and I've had quite a few people reach out to me asking me to critique him as well. So I think I'm going to do that in the near future. He's also a really strong guy, and I believe he's been helping Josh with his technique, and if that's how he benches, then I'm excited to see that he's teaching him very well. That's exactly how I would teach someone to bench press. That's the kind of position I would get them in. Now, I would teach things slightly differently here and there, but as a whole product, that's an excellent bench press. Super stoked for the guy. He's silenced a lot of people. He's silenced them with actions, and then he spat some fucking lines at the end, and that was cold. I like that. So, congratulations, bro. If you see this, good shit, man. I'm hoping we can get a session in sometime. I know you're on the other side of the world, but that would be an honor to get some bench press in with you. I appreciate all you guys watching. Please make sure you've liked this video. Please make sure you drop a comment and subscribe. Let me know if you enjoyed this. Let me know if you want to see more. I'm obviously trying to grow the channel, and all the support from you guys really helps. We're trying to get to 100K. We hit 30,000 subs recently. It's exciting, baby. And remember, if you need any of your training programs, squat, bench press, deadlift, single lift, if you're prepping for a competition or you want to be a power builder, cultstrength.square.site. We have the best programs in the universe. If you go back through my channel, you'll see some playlists where I use these programs, and you can see the kinds of exercises and movements that you're going to have in the program, and you can see my progress as well. And let me just tell you, baby, it works. But that's enough from me. I do hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're motivated to go and get some bench press in. Hopefully you learned something you can take away to apply to your own training. So it's about that time, baby. Go to the fucking gym. See you next time.